In this video we're going to talk about lubricating the chain. There's two key chain lubes on the market. There's a dry chain lube as well as a wet chain lube. The dry chain lube will work 90% of the time. The only time you really need to go to a wet chain lube is when you are dealing with very dirty conditions, like when it's snowing or raining outside, or if you want a chain lube to last a little bit longer, you go with the wet chain lube. But regardless, start with a good dry chain lube, and I'll show you how to lubricate the chain right now. So the thing you'll need is either a dry or a wet chain lube, and just like a grease rag or just a rag to wipe off the excess there. Got the dry chain lube here. What you're going to want to do is when applying the chain lube, you're going to want like a little stream, just like drop, 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 almost like you're dropping on every single individual link. So the thing is on the chain here, what you're going to want is you're always going to want to put the lubricant onto the center or onto the roller here. You never really want it on the outside of the chain here. To speed up the process, what we're going to do is we're just going to get that steady drip and just kind of go forward through the chain here, and just keeping it on the chain there, and then just roughly going 2-3 times through the chain, once maybe, just depending on how dirty the chain is. And right now I'm just just steady dropping on the chain. I'm just sticking on the chain, just making sure it's getting on every single length there. So after applying the chain lube onto the chain here, what you're going to notice is just run your finger under here, just making sure it's well lubricated. This chain was a little bit dry off the bat. So what we're going to do is, after you do apply the chain lube, we're just going to want to clean off the excess. So with your rag, you're going to want to pinch the outside of the chain here, and just by pinching it, you're kind of cleaning the outside of the links here. You can also manually go with a rag and just kind of rubbing it, but typically just pinching the chain and just running through the gears is going to be the fastest way, just to clean it through there. And just go a couple times around, backwards or forwards. There's a pretty thick lube on here, so everything's quite sticky. Then after you go around the chain, pinching it on the side here, cleaning off the inside and then the outside of the chain there. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clean off the excess lubricant. So again, with your grease rag, really one finger, a little bit of light pressure there, just going through the gears there, and just cleaning off any of the excess lube. So you can see on the rag there, by doing that, we're actually taking off a lot of the grit, the grind that was originally on the chain, and just trying to keep it as clean as possible. You're still going to have tons of lubricant on the chain, but you really only want the lube in between the pin and then the roller there. So any excess lube on the outside of the chain really isn't doing what its intended purpose is. That's really the basics of lubricating your chain and keeping it clean.
Now, do you clean the chain before you would lube it?
I use the chain lube as almost like a cleaner. I typically stay away from the cleaning or the cleaners for the chains themselves, just because with that, you're stripping off a lot of the lubricant, and if you are dealing with fairly dry conditions and fairly clean conditions, you don't necessarily have to use a degreaser. The only time you do have to use a degreaser is if you are doing like winter riding, a lot of mountain biking, or just riding in the rain. You're going to have to use that little bit of a thicker lube, and then you're going to have to clean it off after a ride or after quite a few rides when it starts to gunk up or build up on your chain. But as long as you try before every ride, I know not everyone wants to clean their chain or lubricate their chain every ride, but at least as long as you do it once a week, just apply the chain lube onto the chain, just wipe off the excess. So by wiping off the excess, you're almost cleaning the chain, taking off a lot of the grit, the grime with it, and that'll help you keep the chain going cleaner, and helping it last longer as well.